Hi guys, thank you so much for coming to the prayer meeting this evening. I'm sorry I can't be with you. I shall be enjoying a retreat in Dorset. But just wanted to say one or two words about the John Truscott report and try and earth or root the vision that we have already into something more tangible that we could pray into. And it's just as an example of what things might look like rather than a hard and fast plan, because we've not had time to fully discern the right path and right route and right long-term vision from the report. But it's just to give a kind of taste and a way forward that we could say, well, this is how things might look in 5 years' time. Um, Many of you have probably been wondering why we haven't simply circulated the Truscott report. Um, and the reason we've not done that is basically because John advised us not to do that. Um, because it's a very detailed analysis, it's a critical analysis of one dimension of our church life. So it's not an audit of our ministry. It's not sort of assessing the quality of how we do ministry as such. It's not like an Ofsted or something like that. It is an analysis of the way that we organise our ministry, our operations, and our systems. Um, and what John has found in the past is that when his reports or his analysis have been circulated, that it's very easy to read into it either the particular things that are our patch, the bees in our bonnet, if you like, and focus on that rather than the big picture. Also, it's rather easy to look at an isolated paragraph and take it out of context because the report comes across quite critically at points. But John would be the first to say that actually he thinks St Mary of Bethany is a fantastic church, a really good place to be, with huge potential, and therefore he's being quite critical for the reason that he's excited about what we are and who we are and where we're going, and therefore wants to help us as much as he can with his critical analysis, so that we can get the best systems and operations in place to support our ministries. Because I'm very aware, and I've not made a secret of it, that we have focused on the delivery of ministry in many ways at the cost of not sufficiently investing in the support behind that ministry. So that's why we haven't circulated the report in full. Um, but if you want to talk to me about it, or one of the PCC, you're quite at liberty to do that, and we can give you a flavour of what John is saying. But taking into account his analysis and his recommendations, which we're currently assessing as a PCC and staff team, and we're trying to work out what our priorities should be, taking into account those things, I did want to put some flesh on the bones, and this is what I said at the annual parochial church meeting, the APCM, and then circulated. So this is in a sense not something brand new. This is what I said then, but we thought it would be worth reiterating it because it was said in a moment at the end of my vote of thanks at the APCM, and it's probably worth hearing again, just so to get us to pray about the way forward. So putting some flesh on the bone then, in 5 years' time, I think we need to be much more visible to our community. You know, our mission statement is to serve our community, obviously, so that when someone moves into the area, they know who we are, they know what programs we run, what we're about, and know how to get in touch with us. And I don't think that's the case at the moment. In 5 years' time, we need to be partnered with a disciple-making community on the Barnsbury estate where families are coming to faith and being baptised, and a place that is a church in its own right as a disciple-making community. In 5 years' time, we need a building that will do the job of providing hospitality and discipleship, where we as staff members and our committed church members can work together well. And we have a great worship space. We love our worship space, but our other facilities are very inadequate. We have offices at 3 corners of the building that are not connected or linked or networked, and there are all sorts of ways in which that doesn't help us to work. In 5 years' time, we need a leadership that's not simply located in the vicar, and that was one of the things that John found really. We need a leadership that is more of a team. We need to move away from a flat structure of leadership where you've got me as vicar and Dave supporting 3 people and supervising 3 people, but me line managing sort of 13 or more folk, or at least those are the people who report to me. We need to move away from that flat structure to a situation where, for example, leadership, pastoral care, and management, those 3 crucial areas of church life, are each headed up by a senior leader overseeing other ministry leaders. So we have a sort of triumvirate leadership rather than a leadership focused on the vicar, which is a model based on a church that is smaller than we now are. We've moved from being a pastoral sized church where things can be focused around the vicar to a programme sized church where you need a wider senior level of oversight. In 5 years' time, we need a programme and an organisational structure that balances good leadership with good management, that balances fruitful evangelism with loving pastoral care and discipleship, that balances legal compliance with risky mission, that balances the eternal values of intimate fellowship alongside cutting-edge communication that keeps people connected. Because I think a lot of people don't feel that connected. I don't think this is a problem just in the church. I think most organisations are struggling with how to communicate with their membership now, because people use so many different means of communication. It's much harder. So exactly how that looks and how we get to that point is the task that the Standing Committee, the PCC, and subgroups are going to be working on in the next few months. But we really need to pray that the Lord would guide us, and we really need to pray that people would step up to particular areas of responsibility, and we need to pray for our stewardship that we'll be able to resource these things. So in a nutshell, it's about visibility and communication with our community. It's about being partnered with a disciple-making community on Barnsbury. It's about developing our buildings so that they will do the job of hospitality and discipleship. I would love us to be able to offer the kind of hospitality that we offer on voting day, which is very useful and fruitful. That kind of hospitality on an ongoing basis. I'd love us to be a hub of hospitality in the community. In 5 years, we need a leadership that is a broader leadership, and then we need this program and organisational structure that supports that leadership and those on the staff team and those committed church members who deliver ministry, so that each of us is supported in our ministries. Because at the moment there are many ways in which we're struggling to keep up with what we have become. So we need to pray that God would lead us and help us to do just that. So thank you very much for listening, and please pray into what we're going to be involved in over the next few weeks and months. Thank you very much, and God bless.